I'm sure you've heard about our latest documentary on graduate unemployment. It's titled Job for the Boys. Emmanuel Jivenu's piece details how young graduates are finding other means to make money. Watch this.
Ghana became the first African nation to achieve independence from colonial rule on the 6th of March 1957. There was much jubilation and hope that it would pioneer the way toward rapid growth and development for Africa as a continent.
Freedom! Freedom! Freedom!
During this period, Ghana had a relatively good education system and a strong economy with foreign reserves of about $481 million and a gross domestic product (GDP) at par with those of Malaysia and South Korea. Ghana, like Malaysia, Singapore and South Korea, should have tapped into its rich resources to sustain economic development. But in the mid-1970s, Ghana's economy saw the beginning of significant deterioration, such that by the early 1980s, GDP had reached its lowest in the history of Ghana's post-independence. This systemic worsening of the economy led to a significant fall in living standards and high levels of unemployment, especially among the youth.
Our governments have always been aware that young people need to be supported in employment. And so programs on youth employment go back as far as Nkrumah's administration. He had programs that combined both economic and social issues for young people. He had the Young Farmers League, for instance, the Young Pioneers. These were also political, associations as well. But they all showed evidence that we needed to pay attention to young people and to make sure that they were in the right positions in society.
30-year-old Oscar is one of the millions of unemployed young Ghanaians. He lives here at Konkomba Bolatop, a growing slum in the Greater Accra region of Ghana.
My name is Oscar Theophilus Ibrahim Kakari, and I'm 30 years old, and I'm the first son of my parents.
Oscar completed his tertiary education in 2017, but has never been in a long-term employment. While on the academic ladder, he never imagined that a search for a job in a resource-rich country will be a daunting task.
After graduation, it's been 3 years now, unemployed. Talking about this white-collar job. I've tried many possibilities, send my CVs to institutions, I send them online through Gmail, but I don't get any reply from them. So I have to just hustle. As in find ways and means to feed. Sometimes I have to starve to just sleep, so that I hope that the next day I might get fed or something like that. So I have to sleep overnight, or sometimes I have to drink water.
Oscar struggled to put himself through school with support from a single mother.
When I was in school, secondary school, I was owing, I think, 1,003, and my mom took me to Sheikh Sikwe. He was the one who paid for my institution in Tema School, and I got admission to Accra Poly. For that one, I have to work and go to school at the same time. When I was going to school, I hope that my certificate will grant me this white-collar job. But I think during the line, things changed. My sister has to drop out of school just for me to graduate. And after graduation, this sacrifice, after my sister sacrificing education for me to graduate, after that, I don't get a job. It seems a bit stressful and depressed. When you go for an interview and they ask you, where do you stay? you don't have to lie, you have to say the truth. And when you tell them you are from Konkoma Bolato, they have this bad perception that you're a bad boy. And in so doing, you don't get much youth to be employed. There are so many youth in these ghettos that are very smart and they have qualification, but due to some small circumstances, this is where life has brought them.
The truth is, the country's economy simply cannot absorb him and millions of other graduates. He is pushed to the edge of society to slum it hard in this shanty town. He and his cousin survived by cleaning silver jewelry for a poultry.
As for my junior brother, I was the one who advised him to use his handiwork, that is silver shining and necklaces making. Yeah, so just over there you see a small shop. Yeah, that's how you benefit. When we get a customer, we wash one chain is 10 cedi or 5 cedi. Yeah, we feed on that hand to mouth. I can't go back to depend on my mom since she's now feeding like 2 people now, and I'm the oldest. I need to prove something to them, so I have to just come outside and hustle. A friend gave me this place to come and lay my head on. I don't want to go back home looking disappointed to my mom.
Oscar is thinking of where the day's meal will come from. Just like other slum dwellers here, 3 square meal is simply a luxury to Oscar. Today, they are lucky to have a tin of milk to add to their regular meal. Statistics revealed from the labor force survey conducted by the Ghana Statistical Service in 2015 and launched in 2017 indicate that the rate of unemployment as at the end of 2015 is pegged at 11.9% of the labor force. It shows that whilst 25.9% of the unemployed are youth, about 11.7% of the employed population are underemployed. Unemployment remains a global issue confronting both developed and developing countries. Unemployment has been found to be closely related to the lack of adequate education. Sadiq Adams is a broadcast journalist and a youth development advocate. His reporting career has allowed him the opportunity to observe with great concern the worrying trend of rural-urban migration and youth unemployment.
You cannot have an education system that constantly produces graduates who come to sister home for 15 years and their expertise are going waste. You cannot continue to have over 60% of your labor force going about and wandering and not knowing exactly what to do to put food on their tables. We have large members of the family in the villages who want to do farming but do not have the enabling environment to do. So they have to move to the cities to choke up the cities and then create a very, very unconducive country that we all live in. And this is what we have constantly been calling for, that the politicians who are at the helm of power need to design a very perfect system that other countries have also done.
The streets of the central business district of Accra hold the livelihoods of hundreds of Ghanaians. The 23-year-old Razak dropped out of school due to the inability of his parents to sponsor his education. Today, Razak makes these sandals for sale on the street of Accra.
Me myself, I just hustle from childhood to this, so every day I hustle. I don't get one day cry, they feel good cry, every day I hustle. Because when I start from school, for the meantime at the complete school, I don't get anybody to help me, so I want to start hustle. I start hustle by myself. Every day at the hostel. That's why I see myself. When the moment I wrote BC, when I see my back, I don't get nobody to help me. So I just start hustle. It will be better for me to hustle. So I can't say anything. The hustle racing away the inside.
He traveled from his village in the Ashanti region to seek a future in sandals making in the capital, Accra. The 23-year-old laments the infiltration of the market with foreign goods. He has lost many of his customers and gradually throwing him out of business.
1 for 20 Ghana. You go buy this thing, buy this. You do and finish, nothing there inside. But still now, you get some small things there inside. That's why you are seeing this thing there, nothing there inside. Nothing there inside. When I get a job today, I stop this. So this one, you see, is it not a good job? It's a good job, but the material, those people bring the materials, This one, they cost you go buy this, you buy selection, you buy bona, you buy this. The moment you do and finish, nothing there inside. So you are doing for them. Those people go bring the goods, you are doing for them. Those people go buy, bring the leathers and the bonnet from China. The thing they cost. You can't buy them. You won't do them small. Nothing there inside. When I get a job today, I'll stop them.
Cannot be traveling to Libya, to Singapore, to China, to go and import things and come back home and sell to people who can produce same. I think we are in a very, very bad situation as a country now, and we must begin to think that if we do not wake up now, the future will be very, very, very bleak. It's already bleak. It's very gloom. And it's a point in time that Ghanaians, and especially the youth, who we coin as the future of the country, needs to take the future up.
The COVID-19 impact on the economy has only made things worse. Most businesses are not in the position to hire.
Due to this coronavirus outbreak, the factory I was working with, they laid off some workers, and I was part of them, so I have to come home. I was a machine operator. Yeah. We used to print on these sachet rubbers, these pure water sachet rubbers, and these plastic bottles. Yeah, so I was the one operating on it.
Ghana, just like many African markets, has become the dumping ground for all kinds of goods from developed countries, all in the name of free trade.
The things there no go help us, especially the China goods. The others, this one, somebody can hold it. You ask you be China. Until you go talk, you understand, until you buy them.
Established and large companies have taken all the bright spots, flooding the market with their finished goods, which are much cheaper than those manufactured locally, forcing many local industries to close down. Because of this situation, people like Razak and his friends are left frustrated and disillusioned as it becomes difficult to compete.
You go buy leather, one year small thing, you mark out, you don't get nothing. You go buy this one, you go buy this, you go buy this. The moment you finish, you don't get nothing. So you don't get nothing from it. Maybe someone will come and buy them. This one be 20 Ghana. The whole price will be 20 Ghana. You can sell them 25 and you get 5 cedi. That will be a social. The China, they can do this type of China. This Ghana, they can do the same type. You are selling 20 Ghana, you can sell China one, you can sell 10 cedi.
Ghana is known for its high dependence on imports for domestic consumption since gaining independence in 1957. The country was ranked 78 in terms of imports in the world in 2013 and 2014. Its dependence on imports is also signified by the increasing negative trade balances. The weak economy has pushed the country towards several IMF directives of restructuring, Eurobonds and Chinese loans, with the interest payment sucking practically all of Ghana's export revenues. Ghana has an abundance of non-renewable natural resources such as cocoa, gold, timber, bauxite, manganese, industrial diamonds, and more recently crude oil, but with little economic growth. The present question for many individuals such as Razak, Oscar, and the millions of Ghanaian youth is whether our natural resources are a blessing or a curse.
Our leaders misuse our natural resources in certain ways that when, like example, cocoa, when they import and export, the money they get, they invest directly into political businesses. And sometimes during this election, they dash out, they bribe some of the youth just to cause violence during elections. And I think instead of bribing the youth, why don't you find that individual a job to do? Instead of bribing them, why don't you give them work to do? The government can come up with any structure or any terms of building a manufacturing company that can help the youth to be employed. If you build a manufacturing company, you can train them in specification to help them to operate on machines, maybe cutting or carrying of loads. In so doing, they have something to do.
Due to high cost of accommodation in Accra, Razak cannot hire any decent place to live.
If someone rent for me, I would like them, but me myself from there, I can't. Maybe Accra, you want to go and rent a house with the cost, you can't. Always, we sleep outside. All the time, we do outside. So until we sleep, maybe 1 or 2:30. Maybe some people are roaming about. We are sleeping in the market too. Some people are roaming about until they be quiet, until you sleep.
Thank you so much for staying here on the AM show. I'm Bernice Abubeidu Lisa. I've been joined by Reverend Dr. Lawrence Tetteh, and he has a program with Lina Travel and Tours. There's a trip to Israel. But I'm just learning from him in our pre-interview chat that he actually studied economics at the London School of Economics, because I was asking him his thoughts on the clip we just played about graduate unemployment. So I'll just take your quick thoughts on that. So if you didn't know, Dr. Lawrence Tetteh is actually a trained economist. So your quick thoughts on the issue of graduate unemployment.
I think that we have a big problem in Ghana. Our choices of subjects also plays a very big role in what kind of employment we get. Everybody wants to go into marketing. They wanted to go to some of these courses that everybody is doing, and so we lack expertise. Nurses don't have problem with employment.
No, in Ghana they do.
They don't.
They do.
They don't.
That's always a backlog.
That's what I'm saying, that to some extent,
okay.
Bernice, there are certain subjects that when you do,
it's
you are
easier
able to get job. If you look at the landscape of Ghana, higher percentage of our landscape is agri. The lands are there. If somebody goes seriously into agric, you will not lack work. A lot of people have left the urban area, the rural areas, and they've come to the urban community, and the jobs they want to do, everybody is craving for. So let us learn in choosing our subjects. I read economics. I specialize in international relations. I had a chance to work with a lot of international organizations. Of course, I went to Ivy universities. The Budapest University of Economic Sciences that I went to in Hungary, and the London School of Economics in London are all Ivy schools. And I can tell you that over the years, I've noticed that the choices of subjects we choose in school determines even how quick we get jobs. So I will encourage that moving forward, our young men and our young women should not just rush into subjects everybody is doing. There are certain subjects when you get to do, getting work becomes easier. Because whether we like it or not, in the trend and the environment we live in, unemployment will be an issue. And so we must wisen ourselves up to be able to get into areas of subjects that can get you a job. Like you are happily working for Joy News.
Interesting. Or like some have said, maybe instead of, everybody rushing to do all these white-collar jobs, you should find a skill, polish your skill, nurture it, and then maybe something like football, because I know you're interested in football. Ghana is going to the World Cup.
Very much so. In fact, I whether I'm the de jure or de facto chaplain of Blackstone, I am.
I love that. Okay.
And so we've led them to prayer. We've counseled most of the players. And of course, I've been thinking about something Dr. Tamakula has been saying this week, and it makes a lot of sense to me.
Nyaho Tama.
Yes, that we should not bench as the DIU. He's a captain. Let's carry the spirit of the boys. Let's carry some unison and togetherness. And those who are calling for him to be benched, they should be careful that these were the very people who fought for us to get this far. We should not sit down for new people to come and put them aside. Of course, if they are doing well. The second person that I'm really vouching for is that we should not throw away Samarjan. Let's send him off beautiful and nicely, and let us appreciate him for what he has given to Ghana. Samarjan was the first person to ever score a goal for Ghana in World Cup. And for the many things he's been able to do for the Black Stars, if we are sending him off, nothing prevents us from giving him some 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes during the World Cup, like the Camerooners did to Roger Miller. And who knows?
But with the Asamoah case, I thought it was he who wrote to say that he was taking some time off the national team.
No, I think that over the years, we know circumstance can lead people to so many. And I keep saying this, that emotions have no intellect. When people become emotional, we make statements that we don't really mean. But now we can tell from all indication that Asamoah will be more than happy to be part of the Black Stars.
So for you, it's not about whether he's played active football or not. It's just a nice way to send him off.
No, not just that. Asamoah is not that finished yet. And if we send him off nicely, even with the fitness he has now, I think that would be a very good way of, as a nation, we should learn to celebrate our heroes. A lot of unsung people, and the way we share people aside, and this is going into our body politics, going to our religious organizations, going our traditional rules, that we seem to put people aside. We are too happy to put people aside, and that is not good. So let us learn to unify the people, and I want to encourage them that, in the coming days, we should be very mindful about what we say about some of these players. Words are spirits, and when words have a lot of impact on you, it makes you underperform. Let's rather encourage them. Let's ginger them up. And let us also not create a wedge between the DIU and Asamoah. It's needless. I have had a chance to camp with some of the Black Star players over the years, and I know that tension people are trying to propagate doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. No. Interesting. Do you love tennis?
I do.
Did you see how the US sent Serena off?
Yes.
In her last game?
Is it nice?
Extremely beautiful. Right,
so,
Doc.
So why don't we emulate that? So we should pick things and let people feel celebrated. And I think that for me, the DIU, and of course the IU family, from Abedi himself, so IU Jordan and all of them, and they've done well. We should not just let them feel not appreciated.
So this is Dr. Lawrence Tetteh. If you've heard his name and you don't know the face, this is him. And he's founder and president of Worldwide Miracle Outreach. And you don't often get Dr. Lawrence Tetteh in an interview, so I'm just trying to milk him as much as I can. But he's here to talk about a trip to Israel being organized by Lina Travel and Tours. Tell us more about it.
Lina Travel and Tours have been one tour group that we've really patronized. And over the years, Lina is like a daughter to me. And so she contacted us that she would want to collaborate with us to have this tour done. Of course, I've been going to Israel since the 80s. So I know the terrain very well. I have a lot of friends there. We have a very good platform there. And so we are spearheading it for her. So I'm going to be the anchor of the program. And we are taking a lot of people to Israel, but a lot of well-meaning people who want to go and exploit the land that is flowing with milk and honey. And a lot of things people don't know about Israel at all. It's only in Israel one sheep can give birth to about 20 lambs. It doesn't happen anywhere. It's only in Israel that a cow can bring out the milk and it doesn't get decay. And it's in Israel that we realize that honey doesn't come through only bees, but the Israel honey comes from the date tree. And so there's so many things in that. And when you get to Israel, you realize that a lot of things we read about in the Bible, we didn't even understand it well. The Sea of Galilee is not a sea. The Sea of Galilee is a lake. It's a lake that is smaller than Lake Bosomtwi. The Dead Sea is not a sea, it's a lake. The Sea of Galilee is, I think, about 6 miles long and 3 miles wide. And so there's certain uniqueness, and you go there and see the sentiment and the glory that happen. I think every Christian like the Muslims do by going to Mecca. Every Christian must go to Israel. It makes you see the heritage. It also makes you see that really a man existed that was called Jesus Christ. And the footprints and the steps that he took are there. You see the place that Lazarus was buried. You see that the place where the ascension took place. You see the best plate of Jesus Christ. And it makes Christianity comes alive. So I would really recommend. I cannot count the number of times I've been to Israel, but I would really recommend that everybody must be able to go to Israel.
Doc, there are those who say that this whole thing about Christians going to Israel, like you've suggested, is taking us back to Judaism. They think that there's no point. We are in a new dispensation. Why do we have so much fixation about Israel? Why is it important to visit?
I think that's a very myopic way of looking at it. The Bible says in Psalm 11, verse 3, if the foundations have been destroyed, what can the righteous do? I mean, it's just unfortunate that not everybody has the financial sufficiency. If we all have the financial sufficiency, it's always good for you to know where your Jerusalem is. It's always good for you to know where your Bethlehem is. It's for you always good to know where your Nazareth is. Do you know that a lot of even things we say about the Bible today that are not true? Red Sea. There's nothing like Red Sea. It was a mistake. It's Red Sea. A translation mistake during the era of the translation by King James. And I think some two-know person in England decided to take one red, a ye off. It became Red Sea. But the word is Red Sea. And then also the story about the Jordan and the whole sentiment about Jesus Christ. You have to go to Israel to know it. So going to Israel doesn't make you but of course, whether we like it or not, that was the basis of Christianity anyway. But I know a lot of Christians who we call Messianic Jews, who are more Christian than you and I. And so I will recommend, if you have the financial sufficiency to do it. What I'm doing now for Tina is a sacrifice. I normally would go to Israel anyway, and I serve as the coordinator of the Ghana Israeli Council. I'm the coordinator, so I have a very good relationship with the Israeli community, the ambassadors, and of course, the leadership in Israel. And so when it comes to negotiations and talking about anything to do with Ghana and Israel, some of us are at the forefront. And I would recommend Israel at any time to go. It also gives you time to reflect. I remember many years ago going to the Wailing Wall and meeting a particular president, I don't want to mention his name here, who was in a big mess, on his knees at the Wailing Wall with pastors surrounded him, praying. And I said, oh my God, people know where their source comes from. So anytime we go to Israel, we have a new breath of freshness and we're able to connect God. So it's not about Judaism at all, it's about Christ.
Okay, so let's focus on the details of this trip. When is it happening?
From what I gather, we will be leaving on the 13th of November. We'll be away for 1 week and we'll be coming back on the 19th.
Okay.
I mean, the good thing is that there are a lot of very responsible people who are coming with us.
Okay.
We even have ministers of state that are coming with us. We have people from all the political divide that are coming with us. Of course, the joyful one, that what makes me happy about this is that this is not a political trip. There's been instances in the past where people have gone because they are NDC, some have gone because they are MPP, and it creates a divide. But this one is going to be a very holistic one where I will be leading and people are coming from all walks of life. And there are some of the people on this trip that makes it very exciting.
Right.
So it's going to be a very unique one.
I've seen that it will cost about, for the single person, can we put that up again, just for the cost? $3,450, and for double is $2,900. So if I were you, I'll find a friend. That's if you're single. If you're married, come with your spouse. If you're going to Israel, don't come with any other person but your spouse. If you're married.
And let me also be quick to say this, that for me, this is not business.
Yeah.
I felt like Latina had a very good agenda and her desire to propagate the gospel through this was very strong. So I'm happy to support her do it. And that my whole team is coming with them. So we are going with a lot of people. But the beauty of this program is that a lot of pastors and leading Christian clergies in this country are happy to come with us.
Definitely. And please make up your mind quickly, you know, the way the dollar is behaving, so that, you know, just pay early so that you can sort everything.
Yeah, we have a deadline.
Yeah,
the
on
last
the 19th.
time I spoke with Tina, I don't know why she's not on this program with me, because she's outside there. I saw her.
Oh, Latina,
she should come
around.
to show her face at some stage. I realized that the deadline for the registration is the 20th of this month, which is
okay, October.
Days away, yes, because of course they have to apply for the visas, and it takes about 10 days for the visas to be ready. So you need to do everything in order. There are people who wait for the very last minute to come. And let me be very mindful about this that I need to pass on to everybody. Don't try to go to Israel because you want to go and stay in Israel. You will be refused. Will be scrutinized. The team that is going will be guarded 24 hours. So if you have any plan to go because you want to go and stay in Israel, we are the wrong people to come with. Look for another group. In our group, we'll have 24-hour security. In the midnight, if you are going to even urinate outside, you have to show why you want to urinate outside. Because you have a nice hotel room to live in. You can't leave the hotel without consent. So if you have that at the back of your mind, please don't come with us because you will not be safe. I make sure my integrity is very important for me. I've been going to Israel since the late 80s. I don't want to lose that. So when I go with people, I go with people of integrity who want to go and come. And that is why I'm very proud of the Latina team. I mean, the next team that also want to join us on stage will be the Heavens team, that is Zoom Lions group. But we want to do this thing holistically and be a blessing. But are you not coming with us, Dennis?
If my boss will give me permission, because 1 week is too long to stay away from work. All right, and so this is being sponsored by yours truly, Joy 99.7 FM, Sunny FM, and others. But the package includes a visa, flight on Emirates. That's important because you need to know the quality that you're being served. Hotel for a week, tours, 3 meals daily, and you're going to experience great tours. And then you will be with Dr. Lawrence Tetteh, and you know you're in safe hands when you are with him. Doc, your final words quickly as we wrap up this conversation.
That as a nation, let's learn to love ourselves. Let's learn to create an environment that will give us a massive united front. And let's remember we have only one Ghana. But besides that, if you can't come with us to Israel, don't miss this privilege at all. This will be an experience of a lifetime. And for me, ever since I started going to Israel, for this many years, over 30-something years now, there's never been any single time I've been to Israel that I've not had any particular experience. So the experiences you have in Israel that you will need for even your walk with the Lord.
So how do we contact Latina if we want to be a part of this?
I think there's a number on the flyer. Latina's number. There's a flyer here. There's a flyer here.
I'm not seeing any number in this. I mean, I don't know if Latina is around. Can we get a number?
She's around. Latina is out there. Somebody drag her in here. Yes.
Okay. So here the flyer is. I'm trying to figure out where the number is, but I can't see any number in it.
Yeah.
So can we know a number or how people can reach out to you if they want to be a part? What do they do? Facebook, is Latina Travel and Tours on Facebook?
Is she there? Where is she? Is she not there?
All right, we'll bring you the details later on. Apologies for that, but we'll let you know what to do if you want to be a part of this. But thank you so much, Doc, for being a part of our conversation.
So let's get Asamoah Gyan to the World Cup, and let's make Dede Ayew captain them, and we should not bench him.
Do you have any prophecies? The way do you sense anything?
I sense that if we encourage them, they can go far. Okay. We have and this whole thing is about building our people's morale. If the morals are properly built, the confidence of the players will be enhanced. And I wish Black Star all the best. Right. And don't forget, I'm your
biggest cheerleader.
Chaplain.
Okay, all right, okay. The chaplain of the Black Stars there, not wanting to go into the arena of prophecies, but hard work will definitely pay off, all right? So that's been my conversation with Dr. Lawrence Tetteh. Later, I'll let you know the details on how to be part of this trip to Israel, a 7-day one. Quickly, we'll take a breather. When we come back, we'll be letting you in on what's happening with the NSMQ. Today is the last day of the prelims. On Saturday, the 1/8 stage will begin. And so do stay with us for details of that.